Hey guys, how's it going? Michael Troy here. Today we're looking at Frank Miller Presents Ancient Enemies, The Wrath and Son One-Shot by Dan Didio and Jim Calafiore. It is my favorite comic book that came out this week. It is so good. It is good superhero fun. I cannot wait to share it with you. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Hit that like button and let's get right into it. So, just a little bit of background on Ancient Enemies. Frank Miller Presents is the new publishing company, with Frank Miller as the figurehead, although he is contributing. He's the editor in chief. He's writing Ronin. He's writing a bunch of stuff. He's supposedly working on Sin City Western. So that's going to be freaking amazing. So we cannot, be I don't know. I think that this isn't getting as much hype as it deserves. Dan Didio got Frank Miller to come back to comics, so thanks for that, Dan. And then Dan has his own little wing of the universe here with his. Mostly it's his superhero title, Ancient Enemies. It's this 6-part miniseries, double-sized issues, very epic in scope. It's like a Netflix series. It's like a blockbuster movie. It's like good superhero action. Has great superhero art. I feel like it's exactly like what a modern superhero comic book should be. Um, and so there are these one shots. Thank you for the clear branding on the cover that support the miniseries and tell the origins and backstories of some of the groups. The Wrath and Son is like this character, the Wrath, and her son um, they have this complicated relationship and they both sort of have the mantle of the Wrath, and this is the story behind it. So excited to see Jim Calafiore on the art here. I remember him from Aquaman and other books that I loved reading growing up, and whenever it feels like I haven't seen this name in a long time, so it's really nice to see him here. And that's just not say he hasn't been working. I don't know. I guess I just haven't been aware of his career in a long time. So, welcome back, Jim. Or, hey, how you doing? If you've still been here and I just missed the boat. The colors look great. I interviewed Dan Didio for the show, and we talked a lot about Ancient Enemies and the art, and he said that he purposely, wanted it to be bright in colors. He shares my sentiment that colors are too dark in comics these days, especially superhero comic books. Like, they should be bright and beautiful. Written by Dan Didio, art by Jim Calafiore, colors by Hi-Fi, lettering by Carlos M. Mangal, and assistant edits by Leilani Ramos, and editor-in-chief Frank Miller. This looks so good. I love it. I remember Jim Calafiore's art as being like, like he was a good artist. He was fine, but it was sort of not, as like explosive or as exciting or as distinct as some of the other artists that I really loved, like, Art Adams and I don't know, John Byrne and George Perez and Paul Smith and artists like that. But, he definitely has his own distinct style. And I have to say that one of his strengths is like he's a great comic book storyteller. And he really seems to be kind of at the top of his game here. Like, the art looks so good. The perspective, that's very cinematic. The storytelling is very dramatic. I guess Dan Didio comes from a TV background, and I feel that sort of comes through because a lot of this reads very much like a serial television series, and I mean that as a high compliment because the characters are very like well developed. Um, we have these like great flashback stories and like glimpses into their life, yet there's this like epic story going on at the same time. The whole thing behind it is like basically there was an alien invasion that sort of changed the world. Of course it happens in New York, and so it's destroyed, and then like the old city is Citadel, the new city is Americana. The superheroes live in Americana, and the drug society live in Citadel. It's like class wars. So there's, some political things happening. There's a lot of social commentary. Um, it is, very epic in scope. We're up to the third issue. I haven't read the third one yet. It's in my pile. Forgive me. I will get to it. But I couldn't sit on this one. Coupled with the Jim Calafiore art, and the fact that Wrath and Son, like the concept, is just like my favorite thing ever. In the series, like she was in this costume where clearly you cannot tell the gender of the character, and she gets misgendered, and it annoys her, and it cracks me up. I guess it's like a running gag with the character, and I'd love to see more of that. And then this, I love it. He's questioning her putting her gun in this frontal pouch, which, like, dare I say, a pussy pouch? Like, what is she putting that gun? But also the fact that it's her son, he's like, Mom, what the hell? And she's like, sorry, the old design didn't have a utility belt. I had to improvise. And necessity is the mother of invention. So, I mean, props to her for that ingenuity. The colors are like so good. I love this palette here. It's like such a cool like rooftop superhero scene, but done. See, that's what I mean. I feel like you're getting sort of like this classic traditional superhero stuff, but under this like Hollywood lens. I mean, I know that seems cliche, because a lot of writers are obviously trying to do that. Like Mark Millar obviously comes to mind. And I'd like to point out that this is my favorite book this week, and Ambassadors #4 came out, so that is high praise for this book, people. I'm not joking. So they get see, and this is kind of fun too, because and this is like if you haven't read a lot by Dan Didio, and admittedly, like I knew him mostly as an editor. Like I didn't read a ton of the stuff he was doing at DC at the time, just because I wasn't reading a ton of anything that anyone was doing at the time. I had like sort of a blip out of comic books, but I was refreshed and surprised to see like what a great writer he is. Like because it it makes me feel better about the fact that he was the editor in chief at DC for such a, a period of time, because you know he has I think a lot of editors are kind of reckless and maybe edit because they can't write. So it's nice to see a writer or an editor, someone known as an editor, like writing, and you actually write their writing. You like their writing. Now, this is the character that was designed by Frank Miller and introduced. So Jim Calafiore was the perfect person to draw his next appearance, I think, after Frank. He looks so cool here. I love him. And as beautiful as the art is, and if you watch my channel, I'm all about the art. I'm so obsessed with it. Like, as beautiful as the coloring is, as much as I do love it, as great as it is, I would low-key love to see this in black and white, because it's got to look so dope. Like, he is a master. This is, one of his strengths as an artist. And it does put him in the same wheelhouse of, like a Frank Miller, someone who, relies heavily on negative space and the spotting of blacks and things like that. He does it very well. This page looks amazing. I love this too. It's just a really great book, and I hope Jim Calafiore comes back to the Frank Miller Presents universe soon, because his talent should not be wasted. And look how cool that is, right? And then we get this. I guess this is an excerpt from the Frank Miller Presents Ashcan. And I feel like this would be drawn by Danilo Beyruth, who is the artist on the Ancient Enemies series. And it's a fun little setup. I'm glad it's included in here. See, I feel like this is a very good, whoever needs credit for this, the design is really good. I think, Dan Didio has gone from, editor-in-chief of DC Comics to sort of self-publisher here, so he's on a learning curve, and he is, I feel, knocking it out of the park. I feel this is perfect. It's it has, the lead story, and then it has the little treat of the ash can here, if you missed out on the ash can. So, nice little thing to throw in there. And then we get, coming in May, Dan Didio. I'm not gonna. In May, number 4 of 6. I mean, it is good. It is worth the wait. I'm glad it's not monthly, because it is big and epic and needs kind of room to breathe. And I'm not in a hurry to see it be over. To like I'm enjoying it on that level. Thank God you can't binge it all at once. But that said, I'm looking forward to more one shots. This one stands out for sure. Like I said, high marks for the Jim Calafiore art. So cool to have him on this. A great issue. There's like action, intrigue, excitement. There's superhero goodness and a lot of like humor injected in it, and cuss words, which are totally appropriate in this situation. I mean, you got Frank Miller. You gotta tie in Frank Miller somehow, right? Anyway, one of my favorite comics this year, and certainly my pick this week. Thanks for watching, guys. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Hit like, subscribe, share my content, hit the notifications, all that jazz. Thanks for watching. Talk to you later.